Hello, I'm Dale Ander, and I'm a member of the Control Center Development and Support teams. Welcome to a series of videos covering the key capabilities of IBM Sterling Control Center. If you don't know, Control Center is a tool that can be used to track key actions and activities occurring across your B2B and file transfer infrastructure. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use something called an SLC, a service level criteria, to ensure a business process doesn't take too long, and if it does, to make sure you get notified. So let's get going. The reason we're going to use an SLC, or a service level criteria, to let us know when our business process takes too long to run is because SLCs are used to generate events for processes that don't occur when they're supposed to, and or take too much or too little time. And that's the situation here. Control Center takes in events and the rule service processes all those events. And if you have the right rules in place, like ones to watch for events coming out of the SLC service for your SLC that's coded to ensure a BP doesn't take too long to run, then you can be notified. Know that there are multiple kinds of SLCs. There's standard, wildcard, workflow, and simple. But because workflow SLCs offer the most flexibility as far as the criteria you can specify, and you can even ensure that multiple processes with a workflow SLC don't take too long or too little time, or that they occur at the right time, I always recommend you use them. If you want more details on service level criteria than I go into in this video, know that you can do a search in your browser for IBM Sterling Control Center video playlist, and hopefully you'll see a link like this. And from there, you can see all the other SLC videos that I've created, including this nice intro video. And here's one on how to create duration and calendar schedules, which you'll need for all your SLCs. Here's how to create an SLC to ensure that a process ends by a certain time. I think in this case it's by 5 p.m. on Fridays. This next video shows how to use a workflow SLC to ensure multiple things occur within a specified amount of time. I think this one's how to make sure a file going into a mailbox is processed within 15 minutes. And if you have problems with your SLCs, here's a video on how to, quote, debug them, unquote. And if nothing else, here's how you can run an SLC debug report, which is very useful when you're trying to figure out what went wrong with your service level criteria. But if you use these videos, I bet you won't have any problems at all. In this video, I said I would show you how to create an SLC to ensure a business process doesn't take too long. So in this specific example, we're going to ensure that a business process named MyBP never takes more than 5 minutes to run. But if it does, we want to be alerted. And for this, we'll need to create a duration schedule. We'll need to create a single milestone workflow SLC, and we'll have to create the rules to watch for the events that our SLC generates if something goes wrong, and notify us so we can take appropriate action. So the first thing we need is a duration schedule, one that ensures that our business process doesn't take more than 5 minutes to run. Now, I already have a schedule. Its name was duration 0 to 5 minutes. Because I use such a nice naming convention, I could reuse it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you that it's got minimum duration set to 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds, and it's got the maximum duration set to 0 hours, 5 minutes, and 0 seconds. Just what we need. Now, I'm going to show you some pre-built SLCs instead of stepping through in the GUI, but we're creating one that his name is MyBP, takes less than 5 minutes. I did not provide a description, but the name is fairly descriptive. The monitor window tolerances, both start and end, are 0. That's very typical for a duration-based SLC, really all SLCs. It will be enabled, very important. It will generate notifications if an event does not occur, and you have to check that. And we're going to suppress milestone messages, which I recommend you always do for your workflow SLCs. After the general section, when you're creating a workflow SLC, you'll be able to enter some notes, and you'll be able to specify a data visibility group, neither of which I did for this SLC. So the next thing you'll do is you'll come to the schedules, and we'll want to reuse our duration 0 to 5 minute schedule for this one. Then we'll get to the SLC parameters, where we'll say, we're supposed to pick what the milestones are relative to. Since we've suppressed milestone messages, it does not matter. We set the concurrence count to 99. What this means is up to 99 instances of that business process named MyBP could be monitored simultaneously by the SLC service. Did not need to specify a correlator source when you have a single milestone. It's not something to specify. And I don't have a Jeopardy list or a fire once list for this. Next, I need to create my milestones. In this case, just a single one for the BP that I want to make sure doesn't take more than 5 minutes to run. Know that I do have to specify some kind of time criteria for each of the milestones here. And it's kind of arbitrary. I just used the same as my SLC schedule, 0 to 5 minutes. Since we're suppressing milestone messages, whatever you put there almost doesn't matter. But here's the details for that one milestone that we need. I've specified a key of server. You pretty much have to do that. And you have to give a process name. So we've specified server with an operator wildcard, and I said it doesn't matter what server this business process to be monitored for runs on, watch for it. And process name, I said it has to be MyBP. And again, we have a single milestone, no correlator source. Correlators are only when you have multiple milestones. And that's it for the workflow SLC. Next, we need to create 2 rules. One to handle the did not occur event that says whatever the SLC service is watching for, if it doesn't end by Dmax. So we're going to write a rule to watch for CSLC 034E. And then we're going to have one other rule to catch all the other events related to this SLC so they don't accidentally trigger some other rule that we have. So we need 2 rules, one to watch for the did not occur event and one to watch for all the other events for our SLCs. Now I've already created it, so I'm just showing you the definition here. But know that because all my duration SLCs need the same kinds of rules, one to watch for the did not occur event, the CSLC 043E, I just duplicated an existing one. And I just changed the name of the SLC to match this new one. MyBP takes less than 5 minutes. And I left the action as an alert 1. And I have no schedule associated with it because I want this to be active, this rule to be active all the time. This second rule that we need, the catch-all rule as I call it, I created it by duplicating the first rule, and I renamed it to be -2, it still wants to watch for SLC name matches MyBP, takes them less than 5 minutes, and it needs the event type matches SLC notification. All I did was I deleted the one criteria that said watch for that message ID CSLC 043E, which says it exceeded the max. So in effect, this rule will catch all the events associated with this SLC, and we're going to make it just lower priority than our first rule. And when it's triggered, it will do nothing because it specified the no operation action. Now, once I've created my rules, I set their priorities such that the first rule that watches for the did not occur event is higher priority-wise than my second rule, with the catch-all rule. And these two rules, they don't have to be any higher than any of my other specific SLC event catching rules, but they do have to be higher priority-wise than all the generic SLC rules that I still have enabled. But since they don't watch for an SLC name, I need to make sure that my SLC rules are higher priority-wise. Otherwise, they won't be triggered as expected. So take care. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something from it. And bye-bye for now.